Despite their positive earnings result this past week, two of the largest companies in the stock market, Meta and Google, plummeted dramatically this past week, with Meta falling 3% and Google falling 9%. In this video, I'll be breaking down what happened with these two stocks and seeing if there's an opportunity to enter these stocks if they reverse back to the upside. So before we get into those two stocks, let's look at the three-screen setup we have here for the S&P 500. So the top left-hand chart is the monthly time frame, and we have these major levels of support and resistance displayed on the chart. The top right-hand chart is the weekly time frame. We have green candles indicating bullish momentum, red indicating bearish momentum, and grey when price is pulling back or in consolidation. And we also have two moving averages, the 50 simple moving average, the orange line, and the 200 simple moving average, the black line. On the bottom chart, we have the daily time frame. Similar setup here, green, grey and red candles, but we also have the addition of the 20 simple moving average, the blue line here. So let's start off by looking at the monthly time frame for the S&P 500. So what we can see here is that price is in between last year's high, which is this green line at $4,818, and between and above last year's low, which is this red line, which is at $3,488. So price has been bouncing within this zone. We're waiting for either a breakout to the upside to confirm a bullish trend continuation, or a breakdown of support. If price breaks down below this level, then we're likely to see further bearish moves. So what we are seeing right now is a reversal from this high that was formed in July. So price was making good progress from this low back in October 2022. It was moving to the upside. It was fast approaching the all-time high, but then it started to reverse and prices now started to pull back. The next major level of support that price may come down to, where it may potentially reverse back to the upside, is the $4,000 round number. If it fails at this level, then we may well see a decline towards last year's low. On the weekly time frame, the candles are red at the moment, so indicating weakness. Price has now declined below this 50 simple moving average and moving towards the $4,000 round number. We also have the weekly 200 simple moving average around the $4,000 round number. So two areas of support around the same zone. This strengthens this area as being a likely zone to form a base, form a level of support. So we're likely to see a price come down to this level and reverse back to the upside. It doesn't guarantee that will happen, but when we have a round number and an indicator around the same level, it usually indicates a potential area where price may reverse. And if we go down to the daily time frame, we can see that the bars are red, prices below the 20, 50 and the 200 simple moving averages. And because price is below all three moving averages, it indicates weakness on this time frame. But as we have seen on the higher time frames, price would like to reverse around this area of support. We just need to keep an eye on the S&P, because if it bounces from this level, we should see the resumption of a bull trend in the whole market, in the whole stock market. But if we see a breakdown of this level, then we may well see further weakness in the majority of the stocks in the stock market. Okay, so now that we've had a look at the S&P 500, let's look at the first stock that I mentioned at the start of the video. We're going to look at Meta. So Meta is indecisive right now. We have this reversal candle in play right now for October, and price has been moving sideways since July. So it hasn't been moving up, it hasn't been moving down, just to the side, and this has been occurring around the $300 round number. So when price usually comes to a round number, we tend to see indecision around this zone. So that's what we're seeing right now around the $300 round number. We now want to see price make decisive action and determine whether it's going to move to the upside. If it does, then we have resistance just above, which is last year's high at $343. But if it fails to move to the upside, we may see some weakness in this stock and price may decline towards the next level of support, which in this case is this level here, this support level, which is formed from the high of July 2018 at $218. If you look at the weekly time frame now, the bars are grey. Remember, grey bars indicate consolidation. That's exactly what we're seeing right now. Price is moving to the side. So we're seeing an area of consolidation here, and prices above the 50 and the 200 simple moving averages. So things were looking good for this stock from this low back in October 2022. We had this surge to the upside. Price moved up by 256%. but is now run out of momentum and moving to the side. So we're now waiting for the resumption of this bullish momentum. Looking at the daily time frame now, we can see red candles here, so indicating weakness. And this, if I just zoom in, this is where we had earnings. So based on earnings, price declined on Thursday, and even though the earnings was positive, price declined, found support around this zone. So if you see this low around August, the August low, price came down to this area and it's since started to move to the upside. So now what we want to see is for momentum to the upside, which should push price up through the $300 round number, then the 50 simple moving average, and then the 20 simple moving average. And then we want to see a break above the high from October 12th at $330. If price can achieve this, if price can move above this level, then we should see a continuation to the upside. But overall, if I just go back to the monthly time frame, because we have seen some momentum in the past, in the most recent past, we should eventually see momentum build up going forward, but price still has major barriers to encounter before it can actually create new all-time highs. And the last stock we are going to look at is Google. So if we look at the monthly time frame, we can see weakness at the moment. So similar to Meta, we had this move to the upside from the end of last year, and then price started to reverse. In this case, it did start to reverse this month, where Meta did reverse from July, so around from this candle. Instead of here, we can see price continue to move up following July, and even at the start of October we had some bullish momentum, but then price has since moved to the downside and forming this bearish candle right now. If we continue to see weakness based on this time frame, price may come down to the $100 round number, which is the next major level of support here. What we want to see is for price to find some form of support and continue to move up, and then eventually break out of the all-time high at $151. On the weekly time frame, the candle closed red last week, so indicating weakness. Prior to that, we were seeing some green and grey candles. So price is displaying some signs of weakness right now with a big bearish move, and we could see price come down to the 50 simple moving average, or even the 200 simple moving average, which is above that $100 round number. So 3 levels of support price may potentially come down to before it reverses to the upside. But if it fails to hold at any of these 3 levels, then we may see further weakness, and price may come down to this level of support here from October 2022 at $83. On the daily time frame, the bars are red, and here we can see the effect of earnings. Even though there was a positive earnings result, price declined. So if you look at this candle on Tuesday, price came all the way down. So price closed around $138 and opened around $128. So this was a decline of 9% just based on earnings. And following earnings, we still continue to see weakness in this stock, and so now prices declined by around 12%. So 12% decline, and prices just above the 200 simple moving average. So if we continue to see weakness, it could come down to the 200 simple moving average before it reverses and moves further to the upside. As mentioned already, on the higher time frames, price may not hold at support. We may continue to see weakness, but if price does hold at support and moves back to the upside, then we may be presented with opportunities to enter positions in this stock. So do keep these stocks on the watch list, because there may be opportunities if price decides to break out of previous highs. Hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and also hit that notification icon so that you can catch all of our time sensitive videos as soon as they are released on the platform. Look forward to see you all on the next video.